The prehistoric time hole no one can explain, history for sleep. Story. Close your eyes. Take a slow breath in, and out. Let your mind wander far away from the noise of today, back into the deep corridors of time, where mystery and history often intertwine. Tonight, we will travel into one of the strangest enigmas ever whispered about, the prehistoric time hole that no one can explain. Long before cities and empires, before even the first humans carved stone tools, the earth was already ancient. Mountains rose and crumbled, seas swelled and retreated, forests spread and vanished. But hidden deep within this vast history, in places both remote and haunting, there are strange anomalies, mysteries so baffling that they seem to tear open the very fabric of time itself. One such enigma is the story of a prehistoric time hole. Not a physical tunnel you could walk into like a cave, but a strange site where the laws of nature seem to blur, where time left behind unexplainable scars. Our story begins in a quiet valley surrounded by dense forests. Archaeologists who came here expected only the usual: stone tools, broken pottery, maybe the bones of long-extinct animals. But instead, they found something that challenged logic. Embedded in the rock, far beneath the layers of soil and sediment, lay impressions and objects that simply should not have been there. The strata of Earth was millions of years old, from a time when dinosaurs roamed freely. Yet within those layers, they uncovered footprints resembling human steps, each pressed clearly into the hardened stone. How could this be? Humans were not supposed to exist in those times. The prints looked as though someone had casually strolled across wet earth, only for the ground to harden into stone across the eons. And yet, the rock surrounding them belonged to an age long before mankind. Some researchers shook their heads and dismissed it as erosion or coincidence. Others whispered of something stranger, that perhaps this valley contained a rift, a hidden hole in time, where moments from the past and future collapsed together. The locals had their own legends. For centuries, travelers avoided the valley after dusk. They claimed the air grew heavy and thick, that compasses spun wildly, and strange lights flickered across the horizon. Shepherds told of hearing voices carried by the wind, voices speaking languages no one could recognize. One story told of a hunter who vanished into the valley during a storm. His footprints were followed by searchers up to a certain spot, but then, they simply ended, as though he had walked into nothingness. Days later, when villagers returned, they found a single spear embedded in the earth, except it was not a modern spear at all. It was fashioned from stone, tied with sinew, looking as though it belonged to the Paleolithic age. But how could that be, when the missing hunter carried only a steel-tipped weapon? As centuries passed, explorers and scientists grew curious. They studied the valley with measuring tools, they drilled into the soil, they collected fossils and fragments. What they found only deepened the mystery. One team unearthed a metallic sphere buried deep in a coal seam that dated back millions of years. It was perfectly smooth, with strange ridges running around its center, nothing like what nature would produce. Another group found fossilized plants that did not match any known species, almost as though they had bloomed in a world slightly different from our own. And always, there were those footprints, etched into ancient stone, as if mocking the timelines of human history. Some believed the valley was evidence of an ancient civilization lost to memory, far older than anything we know. Perhaps a species of intelligent beings existed long before humanity, their traces swallowed by time. Others thought of it differently, that this place was not of the past, but of the future. Maybe time itself loops and folds, and for brief moments, the footsteps of tomorrow echo backwards into stone. And then there are the most mysterious theories of all, that the valley is not merely part of Earth, but a scar left behind by contact with something beyond. Something alien, or interdimensional, leaving us riddles carved into the planet itself. But for those who visit, the feeling is always the same. The silence of the valley is heavier than elsewhere, as if the land itself remembers. The trees grow in odd patterns, leaning in strange directions, their roots twisting around stones as if trying to anchor themselves against some invisible pull. Some visitors describe sudden waves of déjà vu, as though they have walked the paths before. Others report losing track of time, minutes stretching into hours, or hours vanishing like seconds. Watches tick irregularly, shadows bend strangely at sunset. It is no wonder the place became known, even in modern times, as the prehistoric time hole. Tonight, as you drift deeper into sleep, imagine standing there. The valley is quiet, the stars are sharp above you. The ground beneath your feet is cool, and you can almost see the faint outlines of those impossible footprints in the stone. You close your eyes and listen. The wind rustles through the grass, carrying whispers of ancient voices. The air feels thick, as though the weight of eons presses all around you. For a moment, you wonder if you are standing in your own time, or if you have slipped into another. Perhaps, if you take one step further, you may walk the same path that Hunter once did, into a space where past and future intertwine. A place where dinosaurs may still roam in the shadows, where forgotten civilizations might build their fires just beyond the trees, and where your own footsteps could one day be found, frozen in stone for someone far in the future to question. And so the mystery remains. The prehistoric time hole is not explained. Perhaps it is a trick of geology, or perhaps it is a reminder that history is never as simple, never as certain, as we believe. The earth holds secrets, some buried in stone, some buried in silence. And maybe, just maybe, when the night is quietest, and when dreams are deepest, time itself opens a little wider, and invites us to step through. Breathe deeply now. The mystery lingers, but you don't need to solve it tonight. All you need is the calm of the ancient earth beneath you, the stars overhead, and the gentle wonder of a question that has no end. Sleep well, and dream of the mysteries of them.